afternoon, viewers of the live stream. Whoever's watching after the live stream, I know a lot of people do that. Welcome to another live stream. We've got a little bit to talk about today. Nothing too new, but Bitcoin is still struggling and the S&P is continuing. Every day we talk about this. New all-time high, new all-time high. So I think it's pretty evident that we're still in a bear market. Question is, when is the move down? I don't know exactly when it is. Looks like we just got a green dot on the 8-hour time frame. So buyers might step back in again. A rally might continue, but if there is another rally, I think that should be the last one. There's a chance we might be in something like this, where there's one more rally left, and then that should do it, I think. That should do it. It's not going to look like this, but you get the concept. I'm choking on my own air. It looks like Coinbase is launching perpetual futures. That's going to be nuts, man. You know how much revenue Coinbase is going to get from that? But without further ado, welcome to another live stream. We got Knights of Insomnia, Matthew Dropko, Vegeta, Mania, the Santa Maria, Craig Coates, Crypto Meowisis, Gumal, Griot, Farm Genie, Adam Thomas, Prophet Bear, AI says hype is still cranking. Oh, what a move this thing had. Did this coin just come out? That's weird. Oh, no. Oh, wow. Yeah, wow, it is still going up. Yeah, very weird bear market, I'll say. I'll admit, very weird bear market. I replay the stream at bedtime, but just the intro. It helps me fall asleep. Yeah, that's good. That's what it's there for. Doesn't matter if you watch it when you're dreaming, if you watch it when you're on the bathroom toilet, if you're in the shower, as long as you're clicking on it, that's all that matters. Ryan Cohen says AMC is about to break out. There's no way you guys are still buying AMC, right? D-Joe is in the chat. 36 people, bear market numbers. Well, it's 42 now, but thanks for kicking me while I'm down. Jai's Adventures is in the chat. Jake T, sorry. Bear market is over, come on. I mean, it could be, right? I'm not here to convince people that it's a bear market. If you think it's bullish, you got to do what's best for you. That's all I can say. But without further ado, the first thing we'll say is Bitcoin divided by QQQ did just make another low. So Bitcoin officially is still in a bear market against the stock market, or at least the NASDAQ. But it is still in a bear market compared to the NASDAQ. That means if you're holding Bitcoin, you're actually losing money compared to holding the QQQ. The reason why this is concerning is because we just sat through a bull market where we barely broke the prior all-time high, which means there's a chance in the next market cycle it doesn't even break the all-time high. Unless the bottom is in now and the bull market's about to start, the next market cycle, you'll still outperform the S&P, I think, if you buy the exact low and sell the exact top. But if you're just going to hold forever, believe it or not, you're better off buying the QQQ. It's official. If you don't plan on selling the top and you plan on hodling, as YouTubers like to push, you're better off buying the QQQ. It's a true statement. Unless the bottom is in right now and we're about to go to 100K, that's what the data says. It's been getting weaker and weaker. But there is still a really good chance there's one more rally left. I think it's too bullish to go down right now. It's just too bullish. I mean, gold is bouncing, silver is bouncing. The S&P is going straight up. Very tough to be bearish. But that leads me to my next segment, which is very bearish. So the VIX is actually going straight down almost. And I was looking at the RSI. And on the 12-hour time frame, whenever the RSI comes to these lower levels, it doesn't mean that it's bearish right away, but it's time to start paying attention to the bearishness, because I'm just going to mark them for you. We'll mark here. I'm going to assume it's going to hit oversold. I don't see the stock market turning down anytime soon. We'll just assume it's going to hit oversold. Whenever the 12-hour RSI hits oversold, or at least gets close to oversold, these were the last times that it's happened in 4 years. Now, keep in mind that the VIX is a stock market indicator. It's got nothing to do with Bitcoin. But if I put Bitcoin on the chart, you can see why this is so alarming. There is always that chance that we're about to have a super cycle. That's what the people believe, some people. But what's more important, I think, to focus on is you're always nearing the end of the rally. Now, even though this rally technically continued for 5 more months, you really didn't go that much higher. Now, if the rally doesn't continue, you can see it led to the crash to the low in November, and it led to the capitulation in 2022. So this tells me that our summer date, I think, is going to be accurate. I think we're going to sit here until the summer, probably bullish into the summer, and then after that, that should do it. I think that's going to do it. I think we're going to be right. It's just too bullish to go down right now, but that's not going to be the case forever, because the reality is the summer is a month away. I think 2 months from now, we turn bearish. Now, what do I mean by bearish? I mean, starting in August, I start looking for the low to get taken out. I don't think the low is going to get taken out in August, but starting in August, that's when I start getting Mr. Bear. No more hopium. If we're going to cling on to the hopium, we'll cling on to it now, but we're getting into the summertime and the momentum is turning bearish on the very large time frames. So I can't look at this and say this is bullish. Are we going short or going to get liquidated at the bottom? It's been a bear run since 124. Yeah, typically bear markets are 70%. So if you think it's the shortest bear market ever, which there's a decent amount of people who do, you just have to follow what you think, right? I'm not here to convince you. I'm only here to show you historical data. Is it always right? No. But if everyone was always right, then we wouldn't be on YouTube. If I had $1 million, I wouldn't be on YouTube. So the historical data says this low is going to get taken out. The true, which I can't really push that propaganda, even though it's until proven otherwise, it is true. The true propaganda says we're not bottoming until we go down to the delta price, which is all the way down at like 40K. So there is reason to believe we are going to 40,000. I semi push that, but I think it's possible 43,000, somewhere around there is what I'm looking for personally. I don't think the bottom is in. This would be the first time in history where we don't come down here. Now, some people believe that's the case. Now, that's very possible, right? I'm just not agreeing, and I'm not going to try to convince you otherwise. We went over the same indicators over and over. It's just, do you believe them or do you not? And if you don't, that's totally fine. If you do, that's also fine. For a lack of better example, because it is a good example, but it is controversial, it's kind of like religion, right? Where you have people who believe, or actually, I'll use a better example. Actually, I'll use the earth, right? Some people think earth is round, some people think earth is flat. There's historical evidence that says the earth is round, but until you actually go to space and see it happen, the earth is flat. Just like here, every time we've come into a bear market, we've come to the green. Every time we've gone into a bull market, we've come to the red. The problem is when we were up in the red, we didn't want to believe it was over. Now people don't want to believe that it's not going to come to the green, or that it is going to come to the green, sorry. And maybe it doesn't. That goes against what has happened historically. So if my job is to present to you information and historical data, I can't tell you it's different this time because there's no evidence to support that. Which is fine if you disagree. I don't know what to tell you. Maybe you're right. But if you're wrong, you just have to suffer the consequences. Just like if I'm wrong, I have to suffer the consequences. So I can't give you information that doesn't exist. This is the biggest one though. This is one of the ones that we've been pushing for a long, long time now. The MVRV for long-term holders, which let me see what that actually means. I like how I show you guys things and I don't even know what it is. But, oh, this chart doesn't show you it. Damn it. Oh, look, it says past performance is no guarantee of future results. I never saw that until just now. Disclaimer, past performance is no guarantee of future results. Find out for yourself and act under your own criteria. I'm going to start saying that. It is not it is not investment advice. I thought it was going to give me an explanation. It usually does, but this one doesn't have one. But we can see here that the MVRV for the long-term holders almost made a new low here. Now, the reason why this is bearish is because look at how high the price is. And every single time this exact thing has happened, where the price went up but the MVRV made a new low or a lower high, it was bearish. So I remain bearish in the macro trend. The question is, are we going to get one more rally left? And it is possible, but I'm not going to preach it has to happen because we're essentially halfway through the bear market. I'm not going to push the idea that the bottom has to be in October. It would be nice if it was, because then it would be very structural. And I don't know why people don't like structural things. I would rather have it be, you know what's going on, rather than, oh, maybe it goes down, maybe it's different this time. Why would you want that? I think you should want it to go down. So now you know you have a 2-year bull market. So it would be nice if it went down in October. That has been the case for the last 2 bear markets. It's been going down for 1 year, and then the bottom was in the same month that the top was in. But I can't tell you that it's guaranteed because the first market cycle, that wasn't the case. It was actually a little bit longer. It was around November to January. So it doesn't have to happen. It would be nice if it did, but it doesn't have to. However, we could speculate that it will happen for based on 2 options. We just go down right now, or we start going down in July. Because if you really look at it, Bitcoin really doesn't go down for that long. You know, if you just measure how long it actually goes down for, it's very short. This one was only 44 days. This one was extremely small, 22 days. This one was, I guess you could argue this one was the longest one we've seen in a long time, but 77 days. Yeah, this was definitely the longest one we've seen. But even this one, look at this, just tiny. We really spend most of our time going sideways. This one was 30 days. So this one was pretty long, actually, you could argue. 55 days and then 35 days. It's actually more uncommon for us to go down for a long period of time. We spend most of our time going sideways, but it was the same thing in the bull market. We went up and then sideways. So we're probably not going to go down for a while, for a little bit longer. But I think still if we start going down in July, we should still make it down there in time. Because the last two times we went down, it was 22 and 44, which was pretty fast. We went down 32% and 36%. So if we went down 34% from now, that puts us all the way at 48K. Now, I would argue that if we don't actually go down out of the summer, you could have a bottom, or the bottom is a lot higher than we think it is. So it looks like there's going to be another rally on the horizon. I just don't know how big it is, but it should, by definition of the bear market, it should be the last rally. It should be. Now, if we just blast out of here and we go all the way to 98K, then congratulations, SUPERCYCLE. But I don't think the SUPERCYCLE propaganda is dead yet. I think it's got one more run. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But or right, we get the other option I talked about, which both options lead to the downside. My two scenarios where we come down, everyone gets bearish, then we spike up, everyone comes back saying I'm a bottom signal, and then we go down, or we just go down, then we bounce a little bit higher, sorry, a little lower, and then we go down. I really struggle to think we're just going to go down like this. It's very unlikely. It's not impossible, but I don't think it's likely yet, just because of how bullish everything else is. But if it happens, it happens, right? I'm not telling you we're going to 100K. It's at any moment we should go down, but I feel like it's just too bullish. At least for another month. I'm turning back into Mr. Bear in July, which is 40 days from now. So we squeezed out most of the bullish juice. I think we stopped calling for a crash at 68K, and that was, I remember, because I was saying it was actually 67. It was like the first week of April, yeah. I remember saying, listen, I know we're looking for a crash, but it doesn't look like it's happening. And thank goodness that was when we changed to not being bearish, because it was literally right before we exploded. But we're starting now to round trip, where we're starting to form a little bit of a traffic cone here. So I think if you're going to get a rally, you got to stay inside of this channel, which technically it is. We're still bullish, technically, especially if you look at the stock RSI on the little days. The 2-day stock RSI is about to turn bullish. The 3-day stock RSI is about to turn bullish. I don't know if I'd say about to turn bullish, but you definitely have a chance. It's there. Right? If you look at the 3-day stock RSI, you definitely have a puncher's chance that it turns bullish again. But I'm not, people are going to take that and say, oh, he's looking for a bull run. I'm not looking for a bull run. I just have to respect the bullish momentum because it is still there. But the fact that we moved down when we're this bullish, that is the market telling me that it's still a bear market. Because why on earth would we go down? Think about it. Why would Bitcoin go down again when you have the exact environment that you had a year ago and it went up? That doesn't make any sense. Not only that, you made a lower high and the momentum is turning bearish now. So I still think you could get that last rally we're looking for. I don't know if it's a higher high or a lower high, but it's still possible. It's definitely still possible. I think if we lose 71K, it's not coming. That's what I would say. But I think, how long is it gonna sit here? You know, like how, like realistically, how high is the S&P really gonna go? Is it really gonna go to 800? Like it might. I'm not even trying to be sarcastic. Maybe it does. Look, Robinhood. Oh my gosh, Robinhood is pumping now. Yeah, we're legitimately bullish here. Dude, we might be bullish for a little while. MSTR just bounced. I think there might still be one more rally left, man. It might be. But then that should do it, I think. That should do it. Did you hear that Wall Street will start 24/7 futures trading? I thought they were doing 24. I thought they were doing 24/7 for everything. Is it just futures? In my opinion, MSTR will do an all-time high. Then after that, they're done completely. Well, I'm looking for MSTR to go below $100. I think I might try and play this. We're starting to get to the point of the market cycle where we have to start preparing for the bull market, like legitimately, because it's going to come quick. I think I said in June we'll start planning for the bull market. I think this propaganda could go on for a little bit longer, and then we'll probably turn bearish in July or August, is what it looks like. But it's going to be here before you know it. And the reality is, this is a ginormous bear flag. I don't know if it's necessarily a bear flag. Maybe it's just an uptrend, if it's a rising wedge. Whatever you want to label it, you're still stuck inside of it. And that's exactly what happened here. It was just much larger, or it is much larger now. So I'm going to assume the bottom is potentially in. Maybe there's a little flush down. There most likely is another rally. If it's a lower high, that's okay. But I don't think we're going to go down yet. There might be one more spike to like 78, maybe even 80,000. And the longer it takes, the more bearish it is. Like, because like I said before, like this cannot go up forever. It's just not going to go up forever. It has been so long since we've gone this vertical. Like, you could say this is vertical, but you got to remember that we were coming from a V recovery. V recoveries are always vertical. It's after the V recovery. Once you break the all-time high, we haven't gone this vertical in a long time. Like we're talking 20, we're talking I don't know. I think this is more vertical than this. I think you're in 2020 bubble mode right now. Someone just typed in the chat. Are there any bubble boys in the chat? Or I don't know if he said someone. I thought someone said it. I could have sworn somebody's. Oh no, he said semiconductor moon boy. Yeah, I mean, this is full blown bubble boy. I think you could compare it to 2020 and 2019. Look at how vertical it is. So the fact that we're doing this vertical move and Bitcoin is still struggling, it's not sustainable. And one of the two times that this happened, Bitcoin was bearish, and then we resulted in another crash. So we could probably speculate that the move down is probably where we think it is. It's probably going to be after the summer, which the summer is 2 months, pretty much. At least in crypto terms. It's June and July. I even know, well, I guess you could say August. It's July and August, yeah. Even though by definition it's June, July, August, September. Everyone always lumps in September with the fall. Or at least I do that. Hail Caesar's in the chat. Mega Bud Green. Donnie loves bowling. Binance CEO started the SUPERCYCLE talk last year. We got Irvin in the chat. Forvin. Yeah, there's probably going to be one more rally. That's what it looks like. I just don't know if it's going to be a lower high or a higher high. Now, there is some bearishness creeping in, though. Like, that's why I'm not trying to talk out of both sides of my mouth. I think the overall trend is bearish. There's no question. We're starting to get some bearish propaganda creeping in. There's no question, man. MACD is really close to turning bearish. The last time it turned bearish was January of this year, right before we crashed, and August of last year. Now, we didn't crash last August, but we stopped going up. So the fact that we basically just used up all of our bullish fuel. No, I'm being serious, man. Look at this. The last time we turned bullish was here and here. And here. Yeah, I actually like this. Yeah, I think this is telling us that we're still bearish. We just used up, I just keep finding more and more bearish propaganda. We just used up so much bullishness. Now, the good news is it's not red yet, so you could still go up. But one by one, they're going to start turning red. The 3-day just turned red. So if I had to make a guess, we're probably going to make a bullish divergence where we get one more flush. And that's the bottom. What's up, local liquid? I'm excited you graduated. What are you talking about, man? But man, Chris might be onto something with this rubbish. This Litecoin, he's trying to buy this Litecoin treasury, which this thing is absolute madness to the downside. But they're buying Litecoin. So it's like if Litecoin goes on a run, this thing might go back up. But the thing is, I don't think the bottom is in yet. So if it falls by 50%, that means 5K would be 10,000 shares. So if it goes back to $50, that's $50,000, man, off of a 5K gamble. And it would still be a lower high. It's definitely a gamble, but that's what we do in the bull market. We gamble. You can't even use HUT. HUT's the AI stock now. The AI stocks are going ballistic. It's not even a crypto cycle anymore. Like all of these crypto stocks, they're not even crypto stocks. They're AI stocks. But there's a couple of Solana stocks too. I think this was one of them. Stake. Yes, even here 9K would be 150,000. But I don't know if that's the bottom. That's what I want to look at. They have treasury companies now. You should be able to sort these by... Oh, yeah, I don't want planned holdings. The Ether Machine, DYNX. It doesn't even exist. The Ether Machine. Doesn't even exist. BNB Network Company? Wait. BNC. That's not... This thing's not even accurate. Yeah, this isn't even... This isn't even an accurate website. They're not even giving me factual information here. Helios, HSDT. Oh, wow. Look at this. A health company, medical supplies, medical, medical specialties. The medical companies are buying crypto now. Yeah, I'm not even gonna touch this hot water. It's hot, hot, hot lava water. I believe 2026 is our year, bullish. Well, 2026 is halfway over already, so I guess technically not. But the bear market didn't start in 2026. It started in 2025. So technically, we should be bottoming this year. Which I guess we'll start that now. How on earth do we get all the way down here? Yeah, but look, this is playing out the way we drew it. I think this is going to play out. I do. I think this is going to play out. I think we're going to get a double top and then we go down. Get accumulated from October all the way until February. Yeah, I think this would be the best case scenario because then we could just go right up. My only concern is a 2019 move where we go up and then come back down. I don't want that. I would rather we get like 2023 where we just kind of go sideways then up. Right? This, oh yeah, I don't want to delete that actually. I want to keep this. It's about 130 days of accumulation. This one was only 70 days, but it's a little different because you had all of this. So I'm going to include this 200 days of accumulation. Yeah, I think we're due for 3 months, 3 to 4 months of accumulation. Maybe it is 3 months. If the bottom's in October, you could get 3 to 4 months of accumulation because 3 months would be January. 3 months is a long time. I mean, we've been down here for 4 months already, believe it or not, but we haven't been accumulated. We literally went up. When it goes accumulation, it goes sideways. So I wouldn't call this accumulation, especially if we go up again. I think if we went up again, I think it's just bearish. Honestly, I really think if we were in a super cycle, we should have gone up by now. We shouldn't have pulled back because Bitcoin has never bottomed like this, where it goes down and then it teleports back up. It always goes through some type of sideways propaganda. This was 134 days. This one was 55 days, half the time. So you had a smaller you had a smaller move down and half the time. I guess that makes sense. Even this one, you came back down to the bottom. I think if we were going to go up, we would have gone up already. We wouldn't have come down here. Because even though Bitcoin is up here, everything else is in the dirt. But there still might be that last spike to the upside. It should be, dude, June, it is June now. Yeah, we're right on schedule, actually. It should be June. The top should be in July, I think, if it's not in already. I think we're gonna get it. I think we're gonna get it, man. Everyone's gonna come back saying, holy crap, it's a super cycle. Holy crap, it's a super cycle. My question is, how on earth do we go down by October? I guess if you do this. Yeah, but this is November. Maybe the bottom's not in October. Maybe the bottom is in November. I think if we go up again, the bottom is probably not in October. It's probably in November. Because how many people are saying the bottom has to be in October? Doesn't mean that it can't happen, but I think if the bottom's in October, then the top has to be in already. Because if we go up again, that's another month. That's actually another 2 months. If the top is in July, that's 2 months after the top in May, which means now you're really pushing it. Or, like I said before, or the bottom is actually much higher. Maybe it's not going to 42,000. Maybe it's going like 48. Because that extra 10% is a big difference. But essentially, I think this is our roadmap. Because like seriously, every time I think about it, like what if it is a super cycle? When is it supposed to go up? Because if it's not going up right now, this is the most vertical. This is the most vertical SPY has gone. You could argue since 2023, and that was exactly when Bitcoin went parabolic. So why are we going down? Unless we're right here. We're right here. We're about to teleport. Maybe it happens. I'm giving it until the summer. But the summer is 2 months away. So if we're still here in the summer, I have to call it. I have to call it and say that's it. But if that ends up being the case, we would get accumulated until February. Then turn bullish into the summer again. We actually have been pretty bullish into the summer lately. It happened in 2025, it happened in 2024, it happened in 2023, happened in 2026. Didn't happen in 2022. We were ultra bearish. 2021 was also into the summer, was bullish. Yeah, we're usually really bullish going into the summer. 2018, not really. I mean, it's kind of neutral. Like literally, you stayed 8,000 the whole time. So I guess the bullish propaganda is going to continue until the middle of the summer. And then I guess we turn bullish from February until July again. And then it's a little bit bearish from August all the way until December. And then we turn bullish. I guess that's the roadmap. Yeah, wow, MSTR definitely put some type of bottom in just now. We might get that rally, chat. Send PayPal when it's this bearish. I want a refund. You're saying you send me PayPal? Let me see. Let me see. Let me go to home screen. I guess we go. What do we do? What do we do? Chart. Yeah, let me see. He claims to have sent a PayPal. I should be able to just check. Guess not. Let's see, Mr. PayPal. Oh, he did. Oh, someone else sent me money too. Oh, the guy that has a Gmail picture. When did he send that? I get unless I never accepted it. Yeah, I appreciate that, Mr. Meowsis. Somebody else sent me money as well. I never transferred it out. He sent me $10. Thank you very much. I appreciate that, man. It helps out a lot. I appreciate that a lot, Mr. Meow. Mr. Meow Assist, thank you very much. Talking for 50 minutes, send me my money back. Oh, I remember one time Chris sent me Litecoin and I never got it and they sent it back. I don't know if they sent it back. Wow, we actually are going to get that rally after all. I kind of doubted it for a second. Yeah, Robinhood is going vertical, literally. Look at the size of this candle. We're going to get the rally after all. I just want to check though. I'm pretty sure. Oh, maybe it could be a lower high. I'm pretty sure we top out a month. Oh no, it's not. It's could be a higher high. Never mind. I'm pretty sure. December 4th. Oh wow. Dude, the day of was actually the big ass candle. That's nuts. Yeah, so you know what? That propaganda that we pushed, that we've never had a Moon Boy event in a bear market, that's technically not true because we had it in December, but you still had the rally. But the top is usually the month before, whenever there's a top that forms. Because the Moon Boy event in 2019 was actually in July, it wasn't in June. So the top should. This one was a month after. Yeah, we could be bullet. I think we're gonna be right. I'm not gonna be perfect. I think the crash should be in this blue box. We should be in this blue box. I think this is gonna work. And my backup plan would be this. I really don't think we're just gonna go like this. It's just not happening. It's too bullish. Even if we just sit here, that also works too. If we just sit like this and then go down. I actually think that would be the most bearish scenario. Yeah, let me talk to you. Yeah. You want to know what the... Because I keep thinking of Gumal. Is Gumal still in the chat? You want to know what the most bearish scenario would be? If we just sat here at 75,000. Because I'm thinking the weekly BBWP has to reset. But it's not going to if we keep going up and down. But if we just sat here for another month, it's going to collapse like December of 2025. Which is interesting because it went up when we went up, but now we're going down and it's going down again. So if we just sat here for another 3 weeks, it should fall. Because here it only took 3 weeks to fall to blue. So if we sat here for 5 weeks, yeah, but the reason why that's ultra bearish is because you're using up your bullish momentum. Yeah, I think the most bearish scenario here, well, technically it would be if we just went down right now. That's obviously always the most bearish, but I think if we just sat here for three for 4 weeks, that's gonna be ultra bearish. But I think because look, the last two times we got blue bars, we spiked up and then went down. Even in 2025, we spiked up into October and then we went down. So if we just sat here, even in 2022, we spiked up and then went down. Obviously, when you're bullish, it's bullish too. So one would argue that it's a super cycle, and maybe it is, but there's no other option. We're either going straight up or straight down. And it's even more prevalent when you raise the time frame. This is going to print a blue bar for the first time since October of 2025. You could also say summer of 2024. But we already went over this a couple days ago. We're either going straight up or straight down. Which is why I guess we could technically still bottom in October, because we're building up so much pressure that the floor is just gonna. I don't know what cartoon it was. Something blows through the floor. I don't know if it was SpongeBob. It might have been with the Krusty Krab, because they're in my head the floor is green, and I know the Krusty Krab is green. But like it's just gonna blow through the floor. It's the only option, or we're gonna blow through the ceiling. But my problem with that is you're supposed to be blowing through the ceiling now. The S&P is. So I think we're gonna be right. I think we're gonna get this. I'm not gonna. I'm not saying. I'm not saying I'm gonna be right as far as like what it's gonna look like, because obviously I don't know. But I think we're gonna stay around here for another month. But that's not that long. And that's the thing. If we are still here in another month, that's it. It's automatically bearish. No, I'm just kidding. It has to be bearish. It probably will be bearish. When 100 viewers? Probably 2027, man. I was gonna send you $1,000 of OXT. It will be worth $10 now. I haven't been looking at OXT. Wow, it's still going down. Holy crap. I mean, listen, we all had that issue. I get it. We all have the same issue. If you look at the 3-month RSI and draw a line, looks like we're going to touch it like always. Then there will be a hidden bullish divergence and the bottom is in. 3-month RSI. I mean, I prefer the stock RSI. I know they're two different indicators, but even this, like I just can't look at this and say, oh my God, we're about to blast out of here. This tells me we're about to go straight down. I mean, look at this. Look at this, dude. This is nuts. There's no way I could push bullish propaganda. Especially if we close the candle at like 70K. I don't know if that's going to happen, but it's going to hit oversold. And when it hits oversold is when you get that big ass red candle. But the thing is, there's only 4 months, 5 months left of the bear market. We might go straight down. I think it's coming. I don't know. I have to assume it's in the summer, like September, October. Oh my goodness. Maybe it is August, September, October. Yeah, wow. I'm trying to give you guys propaganda, but everything I think of just tells me it's going down. But you said the 3-month RSI. Yeah, this is the first time we're having. Oh no, we had a pivot in 2018. Yeah, so you're saying we have to come down here? It's very likely. Oh wow, you didn't even have a bearish divergence. You actually made a higher high too. We probably will actually come down here. Yeah, 2-month RSI already pivoted. I like it. I like the color RSI too. Let's see what she says. What does she say to what? Oh, she says we're still bearish. Yeah, this indicator is money, dude. It says we're still bearish, guys, unfortunately. Look, the peak was November of 2024, and we've been bearish ever since. Peak was March of 2021, and it was bearish. Now, this isn't the best because it was bearish until July of 2023, which we know wasn't the exact that wasn't accurate. But I guess, oh, we should use this. We should use this for sure. If you buy in when this thing hits this purple box, hold on a second. Wow. If you buy when this thing hits this purple box, you're buying at the best possible time. There's no risk. Well, everything has risk, but yeah, we got to remember that. 2-month Cutler RSI. Somebody jot that down. And if you sell, oh, dude, what are we doing? Look. You got to sell when it hits overbought. Let me clean it up so you guys can see it better because there's a lot going on. Let me get rid of this box. You know what? I'm going to keep this so we don't forget it. So I'm actually going to put this on our macro chart. Macro YouTube. Here we go. I'm going to put this on our chart. We need this. Yeah, I always liked this indicator. I always fade it every time. Well, I didn't fade it in January of this year, but get rid of this. What did I say was the 2-month time frame? So for this specific example, I will delete everything and get rid of this red line, but we need the red line. We don't want to lose it. But essentially, it looks like selling all your coins when this is up here. Now, you didn't hit yellow last time. So if you waited for yellow, you missed it. But you could even play it safe and say, start getting out when it hits the... You don't have to necessarily start getting out, but you got to start thinking about getting out once the dotted line crosses. So we're going to use this because when 2028 comes, we're projected that we need to be out of the market by Q4 of 2028. So if this indicator is also up here, then we know you must get out. Just like not if, but hopefully if, or hopefully when, but assuming it repeats, when it comes down here, we're going to know it's time to go all in. Because that's been the case every single time. That's legit. You came to purple if you bought in. The bull run ended November of 2024, March of 2021. You know what this is going to work for? Let me talk to you. Yeah. You know what this is going to work for, chat? MSTR. Ba-bam. Ba-bam. Well, I don't think they bought back in 2016. Look at that. MSTR goes parabolic when this, and this is a Bitcoin indicator. Yeah, we're gonna have plenty of time to plan. Well, I kind of want to have this done before the bull run starts because I don't want to be scrambling. So I guess starting in June and July, we'll make a plan for the bull market. And we're gonna have time in the start of the bull market too. Like, even if the bottom is in October or November, I still think December, January, we're probably gonna go sideways. That's when there's gonna be like 50 people here. That's when we'll finally wrap everything up. But it's gonna be two moves, I think. We have to catch both of them. But it looks like the bull run now moves in two moves. This one was three. You had one, two, and then three. This one was really two. I mean, you had one and then two. So I think it's going to do the same thing. We're going to get a big move off of the low in January up to July, and then a big move off the low from November to July, August. We got to time this right. It doesn't have to be perfect, but we got to get pretty close. Unless you're just buying if you're just buying Bitcoin, then it doesn't matter. But if you're not buying Bitcoin, we have to be almost perfect because Bitcoin does not top out when everything else tops out. MSTR topped out an entire year before. Coinbase did top out, so you pretty much nailed it. But we can't assume it's going to do the same thing again. Yeah, we got a lot of work to do, guys. I think we got to stop with the shenanigans. Stellar Lumens is going up. Someone asked about Stellar Lumens the other day, didn't they? Wow, Chainlink is dead. Whatever happened to Chainlink? Wasn't everybody pushing Chainlink? But what happens if we have a good market cycle next time? Bitcoin Cash fell. Oh wow, Cardano almost made a new low. Whatever happened to Mighty Man? He doesn't come here anymore. Mighty Man never returned. Do you guys want to start tracking BMNR? You think it could be something? I guess if it comes to $10, I'm gonna get in. I guess you kind of have to, right? It is following Ethereum, topped in July. You gotta go? All right, man. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for the 10. I appreciate that. They released a new app for Trump accounts, 1K for newborns in the stock market. Wow, that's nice. He sold? What do you mean he sold? Danny loves bowling. Donnie loves bowling. Says I'm here. Mighty Man sold, but why? I sold too. How come he doesn't come to the live stream anymore? I mean, obviously half of the viewers don't come to the live stream anymore. This is what we projected back in January. I said, listen, when we go down, half you are going to leave. And everyone was like, oh, I'm not leaving. And I'm telling you again, when we go down, half of you are going to leave. There's going to be like 40 people. That's going to be the true bottom. Just like when there's 1,000 people. Dude, I'm telling you, we said the same thing here. We said when there's 1,000 people, it's time to get out. There was 1,000 people here and 3,000 people here. So we definitely formed something because the viewers are all gone. But when there's like 50 or 40 people, that's where the real bottom is. It's true. It's human behavior repeats itself. So half of you are going to leave, unfortunately. Doesn't make me happy to say that. But for the 40 people that stick around, I appreciate that in advance. Uh, BTC dominance. He says, never mind. Deuces. All right, Donnie. Donnie's holding me hostage. This is my projection for the Bitcoin dominance, Donald. Well, I don't know if it's coming back down here, but maybe if we're lucky, we're going to get a little alt season. But I think for everyone, this is the best case scenario. You don't want the dominance to go down. If the dominance goes down while we go down, you're going to get a crappy bull run like last time. I would rather we get this, get it over with, and then we get a big bull run in 2028. But that's my projection. But I guess he left. Donnie threatened me. He said, never mind, deuces. Sorry, Donnie. I hope you come back. Somebody go get him. He missed my analysis. Even though it's not analysis, but that's what he called it. Half the lambs. Yeah, I don't even call you guys lambs anymore. I left that behind me. I hope the next market cycle is worth it. Otherwise, I'll have wasted 3 cycles. Yeah, but Petro, I'm in a similar boat. Well, I'm in the same boat. But I'm not relying on the next cycle. I'm making sure that I don't have to rely on anything. You know, I mean, obviously I'm relying on the market going up, but I'm not buying altcoins saying I need this to work. Like I am choosing things that are guaranteed to work because if they don't work, then we're never going back up, you know? So I haven't formed an exact plan yet. I'm going to very soon. I mean, I'm like scared to look. All right, it pulled back. I'm hoping that at some point the buying has to stop. As a legend once said, at some point the buying has to stop. So this thing could easily pull back 60%. I know that because it just pulled back like 30% in not even a week. So if we have a real crash, like a real crash, this thing could easily pull back 70%. Now I don't know if I'll definitively buy SOXL because in 2024 it was bearish for an entire year. I might lean more towards Tesla, but I don't know yet. Like, oh, Tesla did the same thing actually. Yeah, but this thing gave out a 500% gain in not even a year. A year and a half of 5x. That's more than enough. If I pull something off, if I pull off some magic until the low, and then I get a 5x from there, I'm happy. No question. But this thing seems to give decent gains. So I'm going to assume the shit can't go up forever. Maybe it does, but I haven't made my full plan yet because I don't know. But I'm trying to stay away from the rubbish. I think if Coinbase is truly going to add perpetual futures, that's going to really spark a lot of degeneracy, which is going to increase a lot of volume, which is going to be good for their revenue. I think if Coinbase does actually come down here, I might take a stab. I think it's very possible because if we're expecting Bitcoin to fall to, even if it goes to 50K, right? Maybe it doesn't go to 40K. That's still 20 to 30% from here. That's going to put us probably at 120, 115. So I want to assume it's going to at least get back to the high. 300%, I don't know if that's enough. I think I'm probably going to lean towards MSTR. I think I'm going MSTR. That's my top brainstorm idea. I have nothing set in stone because I don't know what's going to happen in the next 6 months. I think if MSTR goes to like 80 bucks, I have to get in. Because they even have 2x leverage. So, oh, this is the short. This is the, what is it, MSTU? Yeah, they have 2x leverage too. So even if MSTR does a 5x, that would be a 10x. I don't know if I would go all in because if MSTR pulls back 20%, this pulls back 40%. I don't know if I could stomach that, but I'll figure something out. The good news is we got plenty of time for that. But I mean, this is unsustainable. It's getting to the point now where it's unsustainable because it was unsustainable last time, and then we went sideways from October until March. And the thing that's kind of scary here is you're getting the same timeline, but it's a little bit ahead. So this low was in March, this low was in April. So we were bullish until October. Maybe we're bullish until September, but we're more bullish now than last time. Because once we broke the high, it kind of slowed a little bit. I'm not going to say it slowed down, but it like kind of stopped. Right now, we're just getting, I mean, it is kind of slowing down already. Look, big candle, big candle. This candle just started, but if this candle is smaller than this one, it's slowing down. That's why I think if we actually have a normal summer where we just sit here, that's the exact situation for a bear market crash. Because if we just sit here into the summer, you can see that this green is already in here. All you need is sideways and you get a red dot. Red dot doesn't mean we have to go down, but it's not bullish, that's for sure. And if you go to the 2-week, we just got into the green. But the thing is, now we start going to the monthly, you never left. That's what's bearish. You never left. Like last year, we left. So if we went sideways July, August, September, you could get a red dot for October. And the last 2 times you printed a red dot, the bottom was in 2 to 3 months later. In 2022, it was bearish the whole way through. In 2020, it was bearish. The bottom was the next month. Yeah, I think we bottomed in April, right? In 2018, we bottomed 2 months later. So there's a chance, hey, chat, there's a chance we're here. That's why this bull market that we just missed was nasty. I mean, we're not going to get that again for a while, man. 2018 bear market was small. This didn't even have a bear market. Look at how much this reset. But the thing is, we could get something where if we did go sideways not June, like July, August, we get a red dot in September. I could see some propaganda going into January. And then when we go back up. But until then, I think we just take it day by day. I think we got to start planning. Yeah, 4-day stock RSI is bearish. The the larger time frames are starting to turn bearish. So I still think there's a chance we get another rally, but I'm not going to sit here with my chest out saying we have to get another rally. At any moment, the bottom can fall out because the momentum is turning bearish finally. We were screaming max bullish for about a month and a half, and now it's finally turning bearish. So I think us just sitting here is bearish. If we go down, obviously that's also bearish. But the reason why I get a little bit optimistic is a lot of people make a good point. They say it's been bearish for so long. That's because I think it's going to turn bullish faster. So like some coins might have bottomed already. I think it's going to turn bullish faster than anticipated. Like if we bottom in Q4, I think we're going to probably go sideways, and then some coins are going to top pretty quick. Like, for example, Fetch. If you remember Fetch. Fetch had a monster bull market last time. But it topped an entire year and a half in advance. But it also bottomed with Bitcoin. So people think, see, this is the propaganda though. People think that just because the coins were bearish, that means they're not going to go any lower. This is basically what just happened. A lot of coins peaked without Bitcoin. This one technically did peak with Bitcoin, but barely. I don't even know if it's just because of this exchange or not. But this coin might have peaked in August of 2021. But the real bull run was here. It was from 2020 to 2021. It was 1 year. I think the dynamic is changing because now this is the second time in a row where the real money was made an entire year and a half before the top was even in. So if we're projected that the top is going to be in Q4 of 2029, there's a possibility that the money's already made by the middle of 2028, or maybe even the end of 2027, which is a year from now. So if I had to portray what I'm trying to say, doesn't mean it has to play out that way, but we might be able to just copy and paste this over. Because Bitcoin topped here. Obviously, if you put it like this, it's not working. But if you put it here, Bitcoin topped here in November. Oh, sorry. Where did Bitcoin top? Yeah, Bitcoin topped here. So this is actually, yeah, 2028. Hold on, let me get the full stretch here. Yeah, the end of 2028. Oh, no, sorry. It is 2028. The beginning of 2028. So some people's net worths are probably going to peak in the beginning of 2028. It doesn't have to happen that way, but some people might. I think most people's net worth will probably peak in Q4 of 2028 because that's what the Moonboy chart says. But not every coin respects the Moonboy chart. Some coins just turn bearish for no reason at all. But generally, the Moonboy chart favors the Moonboys. That's why it's called a Moonboy chart. And even for myself, technically my net worth would have peaked here, but I was trading on Dex Screener and it peaked here. My net worth also peaked here. And for the first time, it peaked here. So I could look at this chart and see the orange line, and it's true. My net worth always peaks at these orange lines. That's why this is so hard for me, because we have an orange line in August, but it's a bear market. So it's like I can't do anything. But this orange line, I'm hoping my net worth doesn't peak because there's another orange line. But I'm hoping this is my last orange line to where I hope when I get to this, I can finally say, you know what? It's time to walk away. I've made peace with it. I'm never going to be rich or a millionaire. I mean, I guess what's your definition of rich is different for everybody. I don't have the risk tolerance that I once did. I'm not as young, and I have much more what's the word I'm looking for? I guess responsibility, but that comes with everyone when you get older. I'm just not young anymore, so I can't put $20,000 on Anita Max win, like I can't do it anymore. That last market cycle was my last try. I just can't do it. I can't. Dude, there was times where I was the number one wallet in some of these scams, man. Unfortunately, it didn't work out. So I've made peace. I haven't made peace with it. I'm trying still. I'm never going to be rich, but if no, that's not true though. And that's what I wish I had told my younger self. It's just going to take a little longer, but if you accept that, then it's still possible. If I would have did it right the first time, then I would have been rich by now. But if I can get to a certain spot, then the next market cycle, which is 8 years from now, so obviously nobody wants to wait 8 years, but if I would have just did it right the first time, then I would have been rich here, which is 2 years from now. Now I have to start all over again. But my soliloquy here is I hope by this orange line, which is the summer of 2028, how old will I be? It's not that old. It's only 2 years from now. I could finally say, okay, it's time to walk away. Because every orange line, I had the opportunity to walk away. I could have walked away here. I could have walked away here. But I never walked away because I wanted to be a millionaire. Even here, I had a lot of money. I'm like, I want to be rich. And then I gave it all back. Every time these orange lines stop, my money just plummets. But the reason why this is so nuts is because we have an orange line inside of the bear market. But I don't think it matters, because this is also the first time in a long time that we have 3 orange lines in a row. Right? Some of you don't know what this is. That's okay. You don't have to. Just follow the leader. No, I'm not the leader. I'm just kidding. Just follow the rubbish I'm saying. You can see that you haven't had 3 orange lines in a row. I don't think ever, actually. Maybe in 2016. This chart is missing the white lines. So for those of you that are wondering, when I say 3 in a row, there's a white line here, which means that the counter stops. There's also white lines here. Where was the white line was in May and then November. We already used our white lines. There are no more. That's why I was so confident that we were going to crash in February. I just thought we would go down one more time like last year, but we didn't. But now, that's why if we just sit here, this orange line is going to pass. And if you look at the last time we had an orange line, after it passed, we were bearish for months. And I didn't realize, but this is true too. You had your orange line and we were bearish for months. You had your orange line here and we were ultra bearish. That's why I'm not getting excited, but I kind of am, because the only reason I was confused was because of the orange lines. But now I'm looking at it, dude, this was an orange line and we were ultra bearish, even if you exclude COVID. And the fact that we're 2 months away now, and we're in a 4-year, that's the thing though, it's never happened in a bear market. You could argue it happened in 2021, but I wouldn't because we had white lines. We don't have white lines. There are no more. The next one is in 2028, which is why I'm telling you, if your net worth, it's not going to be ironically, but if it ironically is much higher up here than it is now, you should probably get out. And what I'm trying to say here is we've never had 3 in a row before. It's never happened, I don't think. Maybe it happened in 2015. I don't know. Let me check. I could check actually. Let me check. Let me check. What year is this? 2016? No, it's 2015. March 20th of 2015. Oh, you gotta be kidding me, dude. Even here? Yeah, you even rallied into this one. Let's see. Lunar. Nothing. No, there's nothing. Oh yeah, March. Oh wow, you did have 3 in a row. Oh no, you didn't. This isn't even a thing. I don't know why this is here. It's March. March of 2016. Did we really have 3 in a row? How can that be? No, no, we didn't. Okay. Yeah, no, you've never had 3 in a row. This is the first time. There was a white line here. This is the first time in history we have 3 orange lines in a row. So it makes me think that it's fake. It's like it's like preseason. Like this is letting you know that it's still there, but I don't think it's enough. I'm willing to bet you guys that everyone in this chat right now, some of you might not be here in 6 months. That's okay. But just remember me and remember that I told you that your net worth will probably peak by an orange line. And if you have significantly more money than you do now in August, September, and October of 2028, just get out. Not financial advice, but that is life advice. Because there's no more orange lines until God knows when. And I'm telling you from experience, every time we have our last orange line, my net worth has been the highest it's ever been. So I have to respect it. This is the first time it's not, but this is also the first time that you have an orange line in a bear market. So I hope in a year from now I'm in a much better spot. And then I hope by 2028 I'm done. I'm never done, as you guys always say. You're never gonna be done. I hope I'm done taking dumbass risks. That's what I would say. That's what I would say. I hope I'm done taking dumbass risks. Because now we know that the S&P just goes up forever. There's no such thing as a bear market, which is going to be so ironic because the next bear market is probably going to be bad. You know, that's how it goes. It always does. Whenever you need something to happen, it doesn't happen. No, that's not true. I don't believe in that. But I think we're ready to. I think we're going to start planning. I think starting in June, we're going to start planning for the bull market. I think it's time. We'll plan for the rest of the bear market. I think I'm going to diversify this time. Last time I went all in on Avalanche and then I got baptized. I was the reason John Doe, if you guys remember John Doe, it was kind of my fault, man. But I think I made up for it because I'm pretty sure I made up for it at some point. But Yeah, we were buying Avalanche and we got destroyed. But I think I'm gonna diversify this time. Maybe get a little bit of MSTR, a little bit of Coinbase. Maybe I'll follow Chris into the Shadow Realm and I'll buy some of his Litecoin stock. Lits. I'll just put $1,000 in. If it goes back up, fine. Yo, we got Indian Kitchen Master in the chat. How you doing, man? How you doing, Indian Kitchen? Entire markets never going back up. We got Indian Kitchen says I'm getting old. Yeah, we are getting old, but dude, you gotta learn your lesson. I learned my lesson. I did. We gotta do it right this time. Unfortunately, we didn't listen. Even Indian Kitchen, man, you had a lot of money too. We didn't get out. That's the thing. That's why I'm not saying I'm confident, but I'm confident in all of us. I know we can do it because we did it before. We literally did it before. There was a guy in my chat, I'm not going to say his name. He literally typed in the chat, "I'm officially a millionaire now." I don't know if he still is. I'm assuming he didn't get out because he was saying it was a super cycle, but the fact that we did it means it could be done, which is the difference. In 2024, that was the first time we actually did it. Like we tasted it. So we know it's doable. We just didn't keep it, which is the same thing we did in 2021. We didn't keep it. But I could speak for myself. Every time we get there, I keep getting more. I just give it all back. But I want to make sure this is the first time I actually have a high starting point. Because every time there's a bear market, I have to keep starting over from nothing. It's so annoying. $500 to 50K. Is that what you did? Did you really do that? My man, that's a good ass trade. Yeah, if I had $500, this is what I would do. Ready? I'm going to give you some premium heat. If I have $500 to my name to gamble, I am not doing anything. I'm waiting until November of 2026. I'm taking my $500 and I'm putting it on Coinbase 2x long. That should get me a 2 to 3x off the low. Now I'm at 1,500 to 2 grand. Now I also just sit and do nothing. Then I'm watching Vision Pulsed to find out where this next rally is. I'm taking my 2 grand and I'm getting 10x. Now I'm at 20 grand. Now you're at 10. Nah, I'm just kidding. You could probably get to like 5 grand. Now we get a feel for where is everything, right? Maybe Doge is still struggling. But once you get back to 4 to 5 grand, you could start taking some risks. Now, if you want to be lazy, which I don't recommend, but it's not impossible, it could work out. You could take a gamble and buy MSTU at the end of the year. because I can't say that I know, because I would have never imagined that MSTR would have done a 30x. I think everyone is just, obviously myself included, all of us would be saying, oh, if I would have just bought MSTR and held, I would have been fine, right? I don't know if it's going to do the same move again. I would have to bet against it. I don't think we're going to do a 20x, but it could. Like, why not? Why can't it? Is there a rule? It is 50 billion market cap. That's probably why. Especially, I mean, if it falls by 50%, that would be 25 billion. Yeah, it's probably not. I think a 10x is fair. It would be 250 billion. That was probably a one-time thing. But even a 10x is still enough. But I think if you got $500, you're just going to wait until the end of the year. If you did it once, you can do it again. Yeah, that's what I'm telling myself. And the reality is, like most of you, or not most of you, like some of you, I started out with like nothing, literally. I remember like it was yesterday. I was filling up my sink. I used to drink from a water jug, if you guys remember the plastic jugs. I remember I was down to my last peanut bag and my water jug was spitting out everywhere. And I was like, my life can never go right. Whenever you say that, that just means you never make good decisions and you blame the world. But the water was spewing out all over the place. And I was laying on my floor like, dude, how do I get out of this? And that was November of 2023. And then by July, I 100x'd my net worth. But I only got my biggest return was a 3x, 2x. So I got a 2x, a 3x, 3x, 2x. Or no, sorry. I got like a 2x, 3x, 50% gain, blah, 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 you know? Like I never got that big, oh my God, I finally got it. I never got one of those. Never. My biggest return was like a 3x on $700. I think it was Dinger. I think I got a 5x on $700. That was my biggest return, 5x. But I'm not relying on old season anymore because it's never coming. And if it does come, I'll be here, but I'm not banking on it anymore. But I'm also going to make sure I don't go down to that starting point, because technically, if I would have just bought Bitcoin with the money that I had down here, I mean, I guess there's no way of ever knowing, right? But technically, I would have made less money. So we have to apply what we learned, but don't make the same mistake twice. So what is the same mistake? Well, for example, the same mistake would be when we go down to the bottom, I'm buying altcoins, which it might work. Like obviously if I bought Solana at $10, I still made the same amount of money anyway, basically. So I guess it doesn't matter. But you get the concept. Like most of the time it doesn't work. So Solana specifically it did. But if you bought Solana at the bottom, you technically you were right. You did very good. If you bought Litecoin at the bottom, or not Litecoin, when did we bottomed in December? What about Jasmy? Yeah, if you bought Jasmy at the bottom, you had to wait an entire year to get your money. Now, my God, it did do a 20x, but I guess technically Jasmy did do 20x. Damn, that shit did a 20x. How come I didn't hear about that? I guess it depends what you buy, right? Some of you might hit, some of you might not. I know that I'm never gonna hit, so I'm not gonna bother. I know some people did buy INJ at the bottom. December of 2022, and you got rich instantly. Got a 7x off rip. Just straight bullish for 1 year, December to March, yeah, wow. December to December, 34x. That's never gonna happen to me. But I'm okay. I've accepted that. I don't even look for that shit anymore. It's never gonna happen. I'm looking for a 3x and then a 5x. That's all I need, right? 3x. Yeah. Yeah. 3x and a 5x. That's it. And the rest is history. But if we can pinpoint where this old season is supposed to be, then I could take some money and gamble. The difference is last time around, we were all gambling with all of our money. We needed to be right. It's easier to be right when you don't need to be right. When you need to be right, it's hard. Wow, Chill House just not moving. Are we buying Chill House? Man, they're still making these coins. Bernie Sanders. I can't believe this is still going on. P-Punk. Are you guys still gambling or did you guys finally stop? Wow, 100 people in the stream now. Why'd you guys wait so long to join? We got Chris in the chat, Indian Kitchen. How you doing, Indian Kitchen, man? I had 6 million on my portfolio from 2022. Dang, do you still have some of it? Yes, that's a lot. I'll never have that much money. I'm not even, but I'm okay with it because my deadline was last year. I told myself. Now I don't stress. Like I was genuinely stressing over not being a millionaire, but now I accept it's too late. I mean, maybe it happens at some point, but there's other things I have to worry about now. My time has passed. Stacks is a Bitcoin leverage play. I mean, not always. I feel like that shit has been bearish since 2023. Yeah, that coin sucks, man. I'm not buying this hot dog. What do they say? Hot dog water? This thing has been bearish since March of 2024, and it looks like it's about to break the low. Hot dog water. You know what this reminds me? I'm telling you, Jasmy is potentially doing the same exact thing as it did last time, where we bottomed in May, we did nothing until September, and then it went down by 50%. Oh my God, it went down by 70%. Like, you guys don't think that Jasmy can go down by 60%? I think it's going down there. I think once August passes, it is going down there. Chris says, I went crazy on the gamble on Litz. I bought another 3,000 shares last night. Now I have 7,000 shares. Dude, good luck, man. I actually might join you. I was looking at it today. I'm actually looking for this to go to 50 cents. I think if it does, I'm going to get in. I was looking at it today. It seems like a good a good gamble, but do people care about Litecoin? That's the question. I think it could be a good gamble though, because 2027 is typically the halving year. Sorry. Yeah. 2027 I think is the halving for Litecoin. And last time this thing was bullish from the get. Get on, get. This thing was bullish from the get. December of 2022, it went straight up. It did a 20x. Now, the thing is, it never made a new all-time high, but it didn't have to because of how bad it got rugged. That's exactly what this is. So I'm going to assume we're going to give it until the summertime. If it ends up getting a scam bounce by the summer, then maybe the bottom is in. But I'm going to assume that anything below $1.20 by August will result in a new low. Which means it could go to 50 cents. I would get in, and then I would ride the retracement, maybe back to $3. Now, if there's a propaganda that's going around that the old coins are going to make a resurgence, then obviously it could go much higher. I'm not going to pretend that I know exactly what's going to happen. I can only look at the historical information. So maybe the summer bounce comes and Litecoin does go back up, and then you did buy the bottom, right? You do something like this, maybe that happens. But I would argue that if it was going to happen, it should happen now. Like, you see how the 4-day stock RSI is about to curl up over the next month? This next rally we get, maybe we don't get the rally. If we don't get the rally, I'm going to assume we're going down. But I'm giving it until the end of the summer. I really think that if there's going to be a rally, it has to be now. I don't think, and it's not just for Litecoin, it's for everything. I think the next move down is going to be pretty bad. Because one thing that we don't really talk about is the Bitcoin dominance. Because I don't really care about the altcoins anymore. But it remained stagnant since 2025. The problem comes when the Bitcoin dominance goes up. And I think more specifically, it was total 3 divided by BTC. Yeah, it was this chart. This is the Ben Cohen chart, right? This chart has actually been bullish. The whole bear market. Now, maybe it stays that way, but what I've noticed is kind of going into the capitulation, it's pretty bearish. So I'm not sure if the altcoins are going to make new lows or no. I guess I'm not sure if they're going to get that 40% crash, but there's an increased probability because we haven't had one all bear market. Like, even in 2022, you can see that this dominance, or whatever you want to call this indicator, it fell the first half of the bear market by 30%. We've been going down, we've been going up the whole bear market. If the bear market started in October, we made a new high, which means Bitcoin fell more than the altcoins did. Now, we know that that's not true overall, but if you measure specifically from October, it depends on what you use. Ethereum, you can say definitely fell more, but it's not really that much more. 57 versus 50. Well, now it's falling more, but if you measure, this one was 51, 52%. This one was 60, so it wasn't like that bad. Normally, it's really, really bad. And I'm just thinking of Jasmy. Jasmy hasn't even moved. The bottom was in December. Then Bitcoin fell, and now it's the same price. So unless Jasmine's going to get a big ass spike, I don't see how it avoids the breakdown. That's why I think this breakdown that we're about to get is going to be the final blow. But I just don't know when it is. I don't. If I had to guess, I'm going to assume it should be in August because of the Moonboy chart. And that's why what I said earlier of us just going sideways like this, I think if we just go sideways, it's going to increase the probability we're going straight down. Because right now, we don't really have the firepower. But another month of sideways, you will. Because our BBWP was green in December, and by January, it was dark blue. Right now, we're already light blue. So if we sit here for another 3-4 weeks, or even 5 weeks, this thing is going to come down here. And the last 2 times it happened, we went down. Well, technically in August, we went up first and then went down. But it didn't end well. So I'm going to assume that if we sit here for 2 to 3 more weeks, it should get down there. And 3 weeks from now will be the middle of June. So maybe the fake spike is in July, and then we go down August, September, October. It's possible. It's definitely possible. I always had the right stocks, but then I switched to crypto. Yeah, and part of me thinks now everyone's going to buy semiconductors the next market cycle, but they're not going to do anything because they're running now. That's what I'm starting to think. Like Micron is just going vertical. This is the biggest bull run it's ever had, at least in recent history. But my worry is, well, I guess let me fact check myself before I say that. No, I guess Micron has gone up every market cycle, but it hasn't gone up that much. I guess that's my point. Like Micron didn't really move from May until February, the following bear market. So it's like if you bought Micron, you kind of did nothing. Now it's when it's doing its run. So if Micron pulls back, maybe it doesn't go up because it already did. I don't know. I'll wait till 2030 if I have to. I'm sure Dogecoin will hit 50 cents. Yeah, but that's not a good attitude because you could sell what you have now and buy something else and then get the money back. See, that's one thing I'm glad I dropped. I'm no longer married to the coins. I still get married to positions, but they're like short-term, what are they called? Civil unions. Like I don't have one specific thing that I want to buy. I did want to buy SOXL, but I didn't. So now she lost weight and now she's hot. So no, I'm just kidding. But I missed it. It's too late for me. So I have to figure out something. I have to figure out what I want to do. But I have plenty of time for that. I don't have that much time, but I think we got a couple more months. But all right, gentlemen, what about Elon? I'm never buying Elon again. Unless I have extra money to piss away, then maybe. But all right, everyone. Which, with that said, actually, what did Akita end up doing? Do you remember Akita? It did a 10x. Oh no, it was Kishu. Man, do you remember Kishu? I kept saying, oh, if it goes back to the high. Yeah, wow, it just did a 13x off the low. But this is also scary. Every time Kishu does this, we go down. It happened in November of 2021. It happened in February of 2023, which we didn't necessarily go down, but the market kind of stopped being bullish after April. March of 2024, November of 2024. I don't know if you want to say June, it's up to you. And right now, this is the biggest one we've had. So I'm kind of worried, like, are we about to go straight down? Because we've every time we've been bearish, right? March of 2024, I already told you was when we turned bearish here. December of 2024, that was here. Yeah, no, we're getting everything I look at says we're bearish. It just doesn't say we're bearish yet. I mean, maybe we are, but we're either bearish or super cycle. That's why the people that are saying super cycle, maybe it is, but if it's not, then we're going much lower. And I would rather prepare for much lower than much higher. Because if we go much higher, then oh well. If we go much lower, but I'm expecting much higher, I get destroyed. If we go much higher, I don't get destroyed. If we go much lower, but I'm in like bullish, I get destroyed. So I'm preparing for lower. But that should do it for today. So I'm married to Lunk. Yeah, Lunk is the same thing too. Every time Lunk does what it's doing, we go down. Or it's super cycle. That's my point, my friend, my brethren. Is Indian Kitchen still here? Shout out to Indian Kitchen. I remember the first time he joined, I was like, yo, everyone, Indian Kitchen is here. And I didn't even know who he was. And he felt so famous. But he actually did become famous after that. Well, not after that, but like at a later date. But look, every time Luna Classic does this scam pump, we just turn bearish. Or it's a super cycle. You were bearish in 2022, you had your super cycle in 2023. You were bearish in 2024, you were bearish in 2025, you were bearish in 2025 again, and here we are again. So you're either in 2023 or you're in every other you're in every other one. So I'm betting that we're not in 2023. Do you remember the dude on Biz called the Kennel Master? He bought memes in 2021. No, I was never on Reddit. I mean, we all had that pipe dream. I think we had our chance. At least I had my chance. I had plenty of chances to make it. I whiffed. So this time around, I'm playing it smart. I'm playing it safe. At least initially. Once we get closer to the end, and if I have some money, I'm gonna take a stab for sure. But that's why we have to build our chart because we did have that Moonboy chart last time and it was almost perfect, but we faded the shit out of it. It literally screamed, get out in January. And we all, for some reason, we just said no. We want alt season. And it said get in here. So I have to somehow make another one. I don't know if I have it in me. I'm going to try. But I guess this is like a bootleg version. This is kind of a bootleg version. So I guess if we are in this box, that's when I'll start getting a little bit degenerate. Like, okay, if I have a little bit of money, maybe I'll put 10K on some rubbish because we wouldn't be in this box unless it's following this path. And if it's following this path, then that means that this isn't the top of the bull market, but it's the top for us, the degenerates. Why? Because this same red box was here. And most of us probably should have gotten out here. So most of us should probably be getting out here. I have to try and make it. I think I could get it. I mean, it shouldn't be that difficult, especially if we rely on the stock RSI. And we're also going to rely on the Cutler RSI. which I already got rid of it. Lol. I already got rid of it. But I think we're gonna be able to do it. I do. I have faith. If we did it once, we could do it again. I'm just gonna do it much, hopefully at least. I'm gonna try and be much smarter about it. I think the only reason right now I don't have any confidence is because we're seeing something we've never seen with the Moonboy chart. But once we make it through August, everything goes back to normal. So like I'm gonna know, or I'm not gonna say I know for certain, like to sound like a dick, but in my delusional head, I'm gonna know Bitcoin is gonna explode into August of 2027. Maybe it's July, like last time. Oh yeah, that's what happened last time. We were bullish into July. Oh shit. I'm going to assume Bitcoin is going to erupt from March until July. And we'll know that if we're in this white box, we're going to erupt again into July of 2028. And then we know you must leave single file line by December of 2028. Because the bull runs are shrinking. That's why when people say it's different this time because of the halving, the next halving, we're going to make another all-time high again before the halving because the returns to the high are getting smaller. I think we'll get it. I think we'll get it. We're going to get it, chat. Don't worry. Chat. I don't even say that anymore. Those days are over too. But all right, everyone, thanks for tuning in. As always, appreciate the support. Appreciate the PayPal from Mr. Meow. Appreciate the super chat revenue, $0. No, I'm just kidding. Well, no, I'm not kidding. I'm kidding about saying I appreciate it. I appreciate the support. We should be back tomorrow. Maybe not. I don't know. Maybe not actually. June, my plan, I have a plan for June. I'm not gonna say it because every time I say things out loud, every single time they get ruined. I don't know why that is. It's just weird. Man, you guys know that guy Crisscross Applesauce? He sent me $5 and I deposited it into a casino and I turned it into $160 playing Baccarat. But I was playing like 20 to 40 cent hands. And I won that many times to where I got it up to 170. And then they got me. They landed banker 7 times. Then it was a tie. And then they did it again like 5 minutes later. It was banker 8 times in a row. And then it was a tie. And then the very last hand I had, like before I went to 0, it was banker again. And then the next hand it was player. So I would have got some money back. But it was a good run. They got me though. So I got out of my system. My plan works. It's just if you go tilted, you lose. And that's what happens with trading too. If you go tilted, it's over. You start gambling on shit coins, you lose all your money. But I was so tilted. But I was telling people that I was making money and well not like making money, but like my strategy was working. So whenever you start telling people stuff, it never ends well. So I have a plan for June. Let's see if I execute on it. But for now, we'll leave it there. As always, enjoy your day. It's a beautiful day outside, for some people at least. We'll be back, if not tomorrow, the next day for sure. And I'm going to try and stream earlier, even though somehow it's already 3 o'clock. What did I do today? I don't know. But we'll be back. Have a good weekend. Oh, it is the weekend. You're right. Enjoy your day. As always, stay safe. None of this is financial advice. And take care.